want to just run down really quick our gymnastics season and our track season. And as Scott touched on, we just finished up our gymnastics season about a week ago. And if you want to take a snapshot picture, we were 6th place at our state meet, which meant we were on the podium and brought home hardware. To tell you, it wasn't a little disappointing. It was. We were a little disappointed about that finish. But as I tell everybody, you can't take a snapshot picture of your season. You've got to look at the whole picture. And if you take the entire picture of our season, we had a great year. For the first time in over 20 years, we were the runner-up in our ESD conference, which was only second to Mitchell, who was the eventual state champion. So we had a great season. This was one of those years, though, that was filled with a lot of ups and downs for us, because we had some highs that were really great, but we had some lows that were really low. And we did enough things to turn things around at the end of the year when we really needed to. And we started making it happen when it counted, which was at the end of the year. And the beauty of athletics is you only get one shot. You only get one shot, and that's the end of the year at the state tournament. And if you don't turn it on that one day, then it's not going to happen for you. And unfortunately, we just didn't quite turn it on that one day. But like I said, I don't want to take a snapshot picture of our season and base our entire success on being 6th place, because that was still a pretty good finish for us. We moved up 3 spots from last year. We got back on the podium. This was our 3rd year on the podium in the last 4 years. And I can tell you 12 years ago when I started gymnastics, we weren't the bottom of the barrel. You had to tip the barrel up and look underneath. That's where we were. And Bob knows exactly what I'm talking about. We were bad. We were bad. And it's been a 12-year process to get to the point now where we are consistently a program that's going to be placing at the state meet year in and year out. And the future of our program is even brighter than it has been the last couple years. We went to the state tournament this year with every one of our returning gymnasts from the previous year, and we're going to go to the state meet next year with every one of our returning gymnasts from the past 2 years. So we haven't had a senior on our team for over 3 years. And as Bob and I talked about before we ate lunch here, it's impossible to win on the big stage without seniors. You can't do it. There's just a realm of respect that kids have for seniors, and there's a calming effect that seniors have, and a been there, done that attitude that makes it possible. And when you try to get on the big stage with a lot of young kids, that's when you start seeing them having a little bit of trouble turning it on when you need to, and figuring out how to compete when they really need to compete. So next year, we're going to bring back our whole team once again. We don't lose anybody for our 3rd year. And we're going to have some seniors next year. And we're expecting some really big things out of this program. In fact, we're expecting this group of kids, I've told them for 2 years, that they're going to be the group of kids that shatters every mold that's been in place as far as Yankton gymnastics. They're going to break every record we've had, and they're going to do something different than any other program has done in our history. And I still think that's going to happen next year. So I'm really excited about what these kids are going to do, what they have done the last 3 years here, 4 years, really the last 6 years for some of them. And it's going to be really exciting to watch these girls next year. Now, kind of transitioning into track a little bit. When we talk about the value of athletics in our school, of the 8 girls that we brought to our state meet, 5 of them are 3-sport athletes, and 3 of them are 2-sport athletes. And that's getting to be one of the most important aspects of coaching for me, is to get kids involved in multiple sports all year long. Because you can't teach kids how to win and compete if they aren't going out and competing and winning. And the only way to go out and compete is to be involved in a lot of sports all year round. And we've really turned a good corner here in Yankton. We've got a lot of coaches now in our high school across the board. Football, track, gymnastics, baseball, basketball. You talk about our club sports, our in-school sports. And we've got a lot of coaches on board now, all pushing the same issue. And that issue is we want kids participating in multiple sports. We want to bring back the importance of the 3-sport athlete. We went to a athletic awards banquet. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but there was like under 5 kids that stood up as 3-sport athletes. And to me, that's a travesty. And so as coaches, we're making a big push now to tell kids, this is a big deal. And this is really important to the success of your high school. And they're buying in. They're really buying in. And I think we're going to start seeing that number every year now start climbing as more and more coaches at our high school are buying into the importance of, hey, we got to stop thinking that we're a school that can specialize, because we're not. And we're finding out that specializing doesn't make kids any better. It just takes them and removes them from other sports where they can excel as well. So we're really pushing the three-sport athlete. And that's where track comes in. Track is going to kick off next Monday here in Yankton. And I call track the season where if you want to get better, this is where you do it. Our football coaches, we've got a couple of them back on our staff now, and for me, that's a big win. That's a huge win, having some of our football coaches back on our track staff, pushing our guys that, hey, this is where you get better, and this is where you go out and you make things happen. So we're going to kick off our season next Monday, our boys and girls. The beauty of track season now is we get to start our season with 3 indoor meets back to back to back. And 12 years ago, when I first started, there was the possibility that we could have our first 1, 2, 3, or 4 meets of the year canceled due to weather. The beauty of our schedule now is no matter what happens, rain, snow, sleet, hail, it doesn't matter. We're going to have 3 meets and they're going to be indoor. And that's the beauty of being in close proximity to the Dakota Dome. And Brookings also building a new facility that we get to run at as well. So we're going to start off our season in the Dakota Dome on March 22nd. After that, we come back less than a week later, and we'll have the historic Dan Lennon relays that many of you are probably very familiar with over the years. And now, after the Dan Lennon relays, we are going to have an ESD indoor track conference meet held in Brookings, where every ESD track and field program is going to compete on one day indoor in Brookings. And by the way, we didn't invite Sioux Falls. We didn't even send them an email. So we're going to have an all ESD meet inside the Brookings facility. And if you haven't seen that Brookings facility up there, the S-Jack is incredible. It's a 300-meter track. We can do every event inside there, including shot put and discus on the infield. We pole vault on one end. We have indoor jump pits filled with sand straight from the Florida coast. It's beautiful, by the way. It just kind of makes you want to lay down in there for a while. And we can compete every event on their track and inside that facility. So it's a lot of fun for us, and we enjoy those first 3 meets of the year. We're returning a girls team that was a runner-up at the ESD last year, and only runner-up to probably the best team in the state, which was Brandon Valley, who, in case you didn't follow Brandon Valley track and field last year, was breaking every record from 200 to 400 meters and every relay in between. And we're going to bring back a very competitive team this year. In fact, on the girls' side, this is going to be probably the most competitive team that we have back on paper that I've ever been a part of. We have an incredible distance group coming back. We've got 3 of the best jumpers in the state on the girls' side coming back. We've got throwers back. We've got distance kids. We've got sprinters. We've got relay runners. We pretty much cover the track in every aspect and every event on the girls' side. And they're going to be a really exciting team to watch. And on the boys' side, we bring back a team that was the ESD champs from last year in a very competitive conference. The only difference is we took some major hits on our boys' side to attrition. We lost some big names and some big athletes. The positive is we've also got some big names and big athletes coming up on the boys' side. And so even with the loss of some of our key athletes, we've got some great boys coming up. We fully expect that we're going to repeat ESD conference champs on the boys' side, and that we're also going to make that jump on the girls' side as well. Brandon Valley brings back about 4 or 5 of their girls that are some of the biggest names in track and field, and they're all back again next year, but you know what? You can't win with 4 or 5 girls. You got to have a whole team. So we're going to bring back an entire team of girls this year that are a little hungry. They've got a little chip on their shoulder about our boys running around the track with their shirts off, holding that trophy, and let me tell you how fun it is for a group of girls to listen to that the entire way home from Brookings. It wasn't very fun, because our boys' egos were just busting out of the bus the entire way. And our girls, they've got a little unfinished business to take care of, and they're excited to do that this year. But we've got a great track and field program. I'm excited to get the season going, and I tell you what, we'd be really excited to be making plans to run on an indoor facility at Mount Marty here in the next couple of years. So hopefully that's going to happen here sooner than later.